First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders that do well at Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the Akia Mode pushing his gospel in sincerity and truth. Say shalom to you, humble and sincere sisters out there as well. Good.
I'll title this lesson, distress and sorrow. We seeing what happening, in these last days, right? What's going on in Syria, right? And in Turkey, the earthquakes, they're saying, hey, they never see it so terrible, right? I was reading an article where they say Turkey earthquake, where did it hit and why was it so deadly? Just show the terribleness of Ba'ashem Yahushai, because there's the Lord was doing these things, to the ungodly, to the wicked, because the world, the wickedness increasing day by day, because the wicked in authority. So if the wicked in authority, the wicked not going to bring forth good fruits, a wicked tree will going to bring forth good fruits. It will bring forth wicked fruits, right? So days why wickedness will increase, right? Because there's wicked rulers governing the earth right now, right? And hey, the Lord are about to make you a plan. The Lord are about to shake up this place. And you're seeing the prophecy being fulfilled. You're seeing the place getting shake up. Sorrow, death, mourning. Hey, it beginning. Things where the Lord had spoken about what are coming in these times. Maybe we can get 2nd Ezra 15 verse 5. Because earthquake, all these things is plagues. That is plagues.
Book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 5. Say, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Yeah, sickness, distress, all these things, they plagues, torment, they plagues, and there's what the Lord say He's gonna bring upon the earth. So when you see all these things that happening in these cities and all these things, the Lord had done it. The Lord doing these things. Lord executing the judgment. Right? That's how the Lord does remove evil. He has shake, take it out. And that's how we're gonna eradicate the wicked. We're gonna blow the candle at the wicked. And that's how the Lord used to remove evil from Israel too. Put them to death. Right? Amos 3 verse 6.
Book of Amos chapter 3 verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it?
Yes, the Lord are doing this. All these people are pride, The Lord bringing them down in this low state. Look up evil, it means a low state, distress. A lot of these people, sleeping on these streets, there are no houses, there are nothing to think, hey, the buildings fall. Right? The children die, babies, infants, and they to show you the Lord is not respect that person. Fear Yahweh and keep His commandments. Right? Lord distressing them, putting them in that distress, sorrow. Right? Because Turkey, Syria, they never experienced it so dread before. They get earthquakes, but not like this. Not like this one. To the number at death cases, 5,000 and all these things, numbers is increasing. And watch also how dread it is. After the calm, after the first earthquake, it had an after shock. Which was terrible too. Which threw down buildings and killed many. Right? A lot of people are grieving, sorrow. Days were, and there's more to come. They just the beginning, as the scripture say, Yes, 2nd Ezra 16. right? There more death to come.
Which verse?
18.
Okay. Second Ezra 16 verse 18. The beginning of sorrows.
The beginning, that is just the start.
Okay.
There more to come. More deaths to rise.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
What are gonna do when these evils come? Because they see they done start. It's the beginning, right?
Okay.
And guess what? A lot of these people, they ain't gonna turn from the wickedness. They know why the Lord doing these things unto them. They're not gonna turn. Right? Because there are jakes over there too. Turkey, Syria, there are jakes. Right? But guess what? All these part are the Most High dwelling place. Right? And what they're doing? They're doing abominable on the land. They're defiling the land with the abominable things. Hey, Lord giving them a shake. You know, all them that oppress Israel. You see the Lord, God about to take them out.
Okay.
Right? So they just the beginning, right? More to come. Jump to 2 Ezra 14, 17.
2 Ezra chapter 14 verse 17 it say, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein.
Yeah. So shall a trumpet be blown in the city? Shall there be evil in our city? And the Lord had done it. So more evil is going to increase. The Lord going to increase it. You know, the scripture saying, I think it's in Sirach, where he said the plague shall not be slack to come upon the earth. Get that for me. Sorry, yeah. I think it is.
Such it. Second Ezra 16 verse 37.
Yeah.
Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 37 it say, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compass her womb.
Them contractions.
Come.
One after the next, you know, a few little minutes, it might ease up, and then it come back again.
Come.
Right, just as when the first earthquake, the 7.9 or 7.8 hit, a few little hours pass after a contraction again, and next jam. Good.
It say, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side.
On every side. So whether I think having earthquakes in a different country, it's gonna have some form of plague.
Okay.
Like famine or something gonna happen. Because it's gonna come upon all sides. 4 corners. None are going to be left out. None are going to be escaped. All they say, you know, all they could go this country, well, you know, this country, it hardly had deaths, you know, all you go there to run today, thinking, well, you know, all they're going to escape. No. The plague shall not be slack. They're going to come upon on every side. They're all going to feel it.
Precept. It's Proverbs. I gotta switch it. Select. Oh, the file select. Right, Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 5 it say, The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burnt, and few men left.
Yeah, they change the ordinance of the Heavenly Father. Right things, the Lord ain't approve of. They establish, the laws to do evil, to do wickedness. As talk about, they're going about to establish their own righteousness. And not establish the righteousness of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. These were the wicked doing, the border of wickedness. They're going about to establish their own thing, leading on to their own understanding. Saying it's okay to be this, it's okay to be abominable. God will still accept you. Basically, they're saying, it's good to do evil. Right?
To show you how bugged out these people is, they boycotting the terms breastfeeding and women giving birth, because they're saying that yet breastfeeding is a sexist term, so it had to be chest feeding, you understand, because it have trans men, right, which is a man, no, which is a woman that transition into a man. It have trans men who are so-called men that have the ability to produce milk, right? And they're saying, we no longer saying woman giving birth, but we will call them a birthing person, you understand, which is as anybody that could give birth, because they're saying it have women that transition into men and they could give birth, right? And they could breastfeed. And it have non-binaries, right? Women who turn into a non-binary, they could give birth and thing as well, right? But they're so foolish. That is just a woman giving birth and a woman breastfeeding. If a woman is saying that she is a man, that is not going to make her a man. You saying chest feeding, men cannot produce milk. Women breastfeed. Women give birth. And to show how the society is going to collapse upon itself. You have the feminists warring against the LGBT community of this matter, because remember, feminist stands for women's rights, and the LGBT, which all of them supposed to be under this one system, is as if they're trying to take some away from women by saying it's no longer breastfeeding or women giving birth, because men could do it too, trans men could do it too, right? Confusion. They themselves, you understand, confused amongst each other, because the stupidity reached this all-time high that they don't even know what they're saying anymore. Because a man cannot produce milk and a man cannot give birth. A trans man is still a woman, whether the woman believes she's a man or not. It's not going to change the fact that she is a woman. So basically, when they was having this debate, right, one of the speaker, which was a woman, she basically said, women breastfeed and women give birth to children, and the non-binary, or whatever, was saying she's a non-binary and she have a womb. And the speaker was like, no, women have wombs. And well, they almost rip off she head when she said that. But that is to show you how completely deluded this society has become under whose rule? Under Esau's. Because only Esau could produce something like this. Just completely vile, wicked and evil and confused. Right, to the point where they literally passing laws that if you do pump hormones into your 5-year-old son or your 5-year-old daughter, you could be jailed. You could be jailed for not allowing them to completely ruin the body of your child. And yet you people say that you are free. They literally could take your own children from you because you don't want to go by their stupidness. You understand? They will take your children from you. So when that why it's not so far-fetched to think that they will put a man to death for not taking the MOTB. If they could take away your children and cast you into prison because you don't want to go by their way now. What you think gonna happen then? When they bring out that C-hip, when they bring out that MOTB, and they let you know it's either you go by this way or you be put to death. It's like the same thing. Either you stand with the system or you die. You know?
Yeah. Second Ezra 15:5.
Second Ezra chapter 15 verse 5. It say, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Yeah, so basically, you know, we are seeing the days why the Lord are gonna do these things. Because wickedness has polluted the earth.
God.
What the things the wicked want to do? Right? He wanna feel that, you know, he greater than the Most High. That, you know, the Lord, you know, he bring forth life this way. He feel, you know, he could do it another way. You know? By doing all these abominable things. The Lord already set a way. This is how it is. But you say otherwise. You could feel you could do it better and want to, you know, go this route, which is evil. Right? And this is why the Lord is gonna bring in these plagues. Right? You're gonna destroy the wicked. I should say all the unfaithful gonna die in their unfaithfulness. Right? So it ain't going to be good. To the wicked. I will say it like that. It ain't going to be good to the wicked. Right? But the righteous will be delivered. You know, so people who think that, you know, the earth gonna be in, you know, everything gonna be good. And scripture say, you know, when they say peace and safety, it's sudden destruction. This place not gonna come back in that good state here with the wicked in authority. When the righteous in authority, then, and this is what the Lord about to do. He coming to throw out the wicked from authority, and he gonna rule in righteousness. Even the heathens and them, by gonna get ease. Them and all we're going to rejoice. Right? But first, they had to get repay for what they done. Right? As scripture saying, you know, we're gonna rule them with our rod of iron for that 1,000 years. And after that, hey, we gotta deal with them according to the law. After. But hey, we had to deal with them. They had to get back recompense. Right? So wickedness pollute this whole earth. Right? And hey, the Lord is gonna bring, as the scripture say, he's gonna bring the plagues. I shall not be slack. Right? Till the day of doom. If you get Second Ezra's Ezekiel 7 verse 5 or first.
Ezekiel chapter 7 verse 5. Thus saith the Lord God, an evil and only evil, behold, is come.
Yeah. This world, this place finish. That's what evil, tell the missiles. Tell the missiles come. The stress, torment, the scripture said there's the beginning, you know. It knows it started happening. They started see it happening through wind, snow. Right? Things just popping up, things just happening, all kind of disasters, all kind of things just setting up one after the next. No ease. From one place to the other, things just happening. Right? Because the Lord said so. The Lord says words not going to return to him void. These are things that the Lord had spoken what to come. Right? From in ancient times, the Lord had spoken these things from the beginning. What to come here? What must become here after? Right? And the scripture say that in 2 Ezra 14, 16.
Second Ezra chapter 14 verse 16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter.
Yeah, so the plagues what they see in Egypt, what they was afraid of, what they're gonna see greater than that. Greater than that, what they're gonna see hereafter. And these times, right, Jacob trouble. And be worse than slavery, something well they experienced this one before. This one well unexperienced. But this one here. Right, and the only way out of there by the fear of Yahweh Hashem Rashai. Serve him, fear and trembling. And the only way to escape.
Precept in Book Isaiah chapter 66 verse 15 say, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, say the Lord.
Yeah, all you swine eaters that say why the Lord ain't gonna kill you just for eating pork, boy. Something that's to keep you alive, to survive you, to feed you, boy. The Lord will kill you for something to eat if you hungry, boy. And you eat pork, the Lord will kill you for that. Yes, because obedience is better than sacrifice. You know, as the video we did earlier on concern Saul being disobedient when the Lord sent him to destroy the Amalekites. Amalek. Right? And he keep the best sheep and he keep the thing. And the Lord what? The Lord destroy him. For being disobedient. So if the Lord say you shall not eat the swine because it is unclean, where you feel he ain't gonna destroy you? And you you listening?
I should say that they sanctify themselves in the garden behind one tree. Or they cannot hide, you understand? So even if you think you're hiding, you're doing your wickedness in secret, the Lord seeing you crystal clear, and you're gonna be judged too. You're gonna be put to death as well. Right? Because a lot of these people, you know, it has some of you that you don't hide, you know, they declare their sins as Sodom, they hide it not. Right? And then the rest that like to pretend. They like to pretend like they do commit adultery. They like to pretend, you know, they serve in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and all these things. But behind closed doors, there's a completely different person. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is seeing that too. You understand? The Lord has always make it known, right? Even in the camp, right? In GMS, those men they always get exposed, right? The Lord has always sift through and it just have moments where real men getting thrown out of the camp because they're being revealed. Right? Understand who for the Lord and who not. And the Lord saying he coming to try you all by fire and by his sword. So as the brother was saying in the beginning of the video, that's how the Lord going to purge this place. He going to purge it by fire. And even if you read in the scriptures, it say acceptable men will be placed in the fullness of adversity and all these things, right? And that the fire will purify them. When you take gold and you place it in a furnace, even if the gold might be shiny before, you know, but when you place it in the furnace and it get refined, it will shine even brighter. So when the Lord purify this earth right now, we understand, with mass destruction, and he remove all the impurities from off the earth, which is Esau, the main impurity, these other nations, the wicked out of Israel, he going to cleanse the earth of all wickedness, and then righteousness will emerge. And with that righteousness, you'll get to see the true beauty of the planet. Because when righteousness endure and increase, the earth itself will become greater as well. The beasts, the trees, the skies, the wind, the fruits, everything will just blossom. Because righteousness is what? The commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. Right? So opposite of that would be death. That's why the earth is how it is today.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. And this is why, you know, God that's gonna bring the plagues.
Okay.
You know, it's no good to come in this to come here unto the wicked. But death and destruction, the Lord, you know, he gonna shake this place, he's gonna turn it around.
Okay.
And we know it near. Because the Lord show signs. These are the things must come first.
Okay.
You know, before the end. You know, I can't see, you know, what day it is or what time or what year. But they be occupied in prophecies. And you'll get a hint.
Okay.
Right? To know, well, hey, after, you know, the MOTB, World War III, the bombs, the missiles, salvation draw it near. Right? Now, Scripture says in Zephaniah 1 verse 14.
Because Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near, it is near, and hasted greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. You know? You saw know it's gonna be terrible. You saw making movies based on it. You know? To show how devastating it's gonna be. Even that series we have, American Horror Stories. The people was actually jumping out of these buildings and them to commit suicide. Because the lady was, you know, was saying that, you know, they wouldn't be able to withstand the blast. So they're killing themselves. Right? So it's gonna be distress. Right? The mighty man shall cry bitterly. Right? All of them who in power and have money and all them things, all them assets and things, they're gonna weep because they're gonna realize the gold, the money, it's not gonna save them.
Okay.
And the Lord not going to take bribe. See all your full of bribes that could pay off and do all the evil. The Lord not going to take a bribe. To say, well, you could pay the Lord 50 million. You know, to get a boarding pass, to go on the chariots. No, can't bribe the Most High. Right? So that mighty man, they're going to weep when these times come. And hey, it's the beginning of it. You seen it? Now is the time for men to get a mind right towards Yahweh Shem Yoshai. Repent from the wickedness. You know, work out your own salvation in fear and trembling. You know?
The last precept in Amos chapter 5 verse 18, it say, Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it?
I was talking to a Christian back then, you know, he say, you know, he can't wait for the Lord to come, you know, and but what's the condition you in? You ain't getting your mind right. You're worshiping idols, calling upon a name, right? That's not the true name, right? Eating all these unclean meats, you know. You ain't want to rehearse the righteous act, right? But you design the day of the Lord. Who can tell the Lord when and go deliver you?
Okay.
Right? But the Lord show how to be saved, how to be delivered. Fear him and keep his commandments. Do the thing pleasing unto the Lord, pleasing unto your maker. But when you're doing evil, as the scripture say, there is nothing good that could come to he that is always occupied in evil. So when you're always occupying in evil, where you think you're going to get good? No, you your reward gonna be either. Because they were occupying yourself in. Right? You know? And with that, you know, it was edifying. You know, I like to give all praises and glory unto the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Makakadash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone Woolwell. Peace and salutation to the Akims and Maudi pushing the gospel in sincerity and truth. The brothers from Trinidad camp saying, Shalom.
Shalom.